Hey Tanya, I'm so happy that probably by now you've had that little boy of yours. What a joy that must be to hold him in your arms, to know that God created such a miracle inside of you. You know, I think back to when I had my children. I love children. I love them so much. You know, I was listening to your last video, and it got me to thinking about a lot of things on trust. Actually, it made me start thinking about a song I used to sing in church called Trust and Obey. For there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. And that's so true. So many people do want to lean on other things to find the peace and the joy and the happiness. And you're right when you talk about the devil. This is not only a whore, he's a thief, he's a robber. He wants to take away all the things in our life that we have, that we consider precious and good. I see him work every day with people. Oh, how awful it is sometimes. Especially with see Christian people who want to blame God for this or that. I don't understand that. The only way I can explain how I've never blamed God for the bad things is that I've always been that way. And I don't know if it's something that my parents taught me. It was just something instilled inside of me, I think from the day that I was born, that God does not do evil. He does not repay evil for evil. He allows these things to happen in the world because of man and because we sinned in the garden. And then on, continued to sin, even when he would speak to people in the Old Testament and tell them to trust him. And still, even after hearing God's voice, would go against him. My family always taught me about faith like a mustard seed. And I know I've talked about this probably a lot of times, but I actually had a necklace back then. It had a little clay ball in the end, and it had a little mustard seed inside. And I used to look at that and just think, faith like a mustard seed? What does that really mean? As I grew older, I finally realized what it meant, or what it meant to me. It meant that I trust him for everything. I have to, because there is no other way. He is the way, the truth, and the light. And we can't go to the Father except by him. I've got to see a lot of awesome things through the years. But at one time I was that woman who left her family for other reasons, other desires that were not of God. But I could never get rid of this faith thing inside. This thing that said, you know what you're doing is not right. I was one of the lucky ones. Because it was that faith that I had that brought me back. It was that faith that once again restored my soul. Sometimes people sort of drag me back into that gutter and make me remember all those bad things that I did. But you know what? God forgave me. And people can't forgive others. And that's just as big as sin. Because God said a sin is a sin is a sin. I have a girl that I've been talking to. She's young, kind of naive. And she said, but I don't sin every day. Oh, what we think sin is. Sin can be as simple as not being kind to someone, hurting someone's feelings. We all have to be very mindful and watch for what we say, what we do, how we act. You know, so many people want to judge other people and say, you're not going to go to heaven because you believe this, or you said that, or you said this. I'm glad they're not judged, because the only judge I know that's going to judge my soul is Jesus Christ. And since He lives within my soul, and I proclaim Him daily, and I know that I sin, we all sin. When I come to Him every day and every night, and in between, I always ask for forgiveness. Sometimes we don't even know when we sin. That's the sad part. Sometimes we sin and don't even know it until afterwards, and then we're like, oh my, what have I done? Anyway, I'm just going to random thing here, starting to get tired and ready to go to bed. And I'm thinking about you holding that little boy in your arms. He's probably crying his eyes out and making you stay awake all night. God is good. And I pray that little young man will grow up and become a warrior for Christ. God bless you, Tony. I love you, girl. Be blessed. Send me a picture right away. I can't wait to see what this means.